Oh no, Nintendo wants to make money. How terrible. How dare this company incentivize people to buy re releases of old games? How terrible. A lot of people don't seem to really appreciate the fact that, like, Nintendo is re releasing old titles at all and are taking the opportunity to bitch, right? Typical Pretendo behavior, right? We saw this with Super Mario 3D All Stars, and we're seeing it again with the re-release of Fire Emblem. People complaining that Nintendo is limiting the release of certain games, re-releases. It seems like mostly, and I think there's a very good reason for this. It's very difficult to get people excited about releases of old games. Like, you have to sort of take the Disney Vault approach and not release things all the time. You know what I mean? That's kind of what's happened with PlayStation, because they re-released all of their stuff in such a short time frame, like Crash, Jack and Daxter, Uncharted. Like, they don't really have anything to look back on. Like, everyone's already played, everyone's already had a fill of their nostalgia, and they don't have a leg to stand on. They don't have anything else to re-release. Meanwhile, Nintendo has like this incredible backlog of shit. Chibi Robo. Metroid, F-Zero, Star Fox, like that they haven't really re-released in years. You know what I mean? They could like remake Star Fox 64 anytime for Switch and probably do really well with that, right? They could do like a full remake of Super Mario 64. Like, there's all these things they could have done, right? But the limited release thing, probably it's to incentivize people into checking out these releases of old games, right? Like, a lot of people wouldn't look at the release of Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and say that like they have to get it right away. And by doing this, by making it a limited release, they are incentivizing people to go out and buy it right away. I myself am actually going to go ahead and pre-order my copy, my digital version of the game right away, because, like, I'm a big Fire Emblem fan. I've been wanting to like play some old Fire Emblem for years, and I'm really curious how the original NES game compares to the DS remake, which I despise. Is my video talking about the DS remake still up? I played that recently and fucking hated it. It was so bad. It's kind of interesting in a way, because like your characters don't have personality, so like you can get disposable units. So as a result, like, it's way more practical to allow your units to die. Like, in a lot of ways, like, you don't feel like an incentive to like reset the game. You just sort of lose them forever. Um, like, it's an interesting gameplay feature that I think, with the development of personalities for the characters, kind of lost its original idea. Honestly, that's one of the reasons I'm not upset with Awakening making casual like the default for the series, because it makes more sense with the characters more well rounded. Honestly, that would not be a bad idea for a new Fire Emblem game. Like, make a game where you have like a core cast of characters that can't die, that they just run away, and then just have everyone else be disposable. Like, just like make it like a mandate. Like, make it like you're fighting a war. Like, not everyone is going to survive a war, right? Like, like in Advance Wars, like you have a bunch of units that die. Anyway, so uh, that's a topic for another video. But this is not a bad idea at all. Like, there's nothing wrong with making limited re-releases of things. Like, they've done it already. This is not a new thing with like the original Super Mario 3D. Well, the re-release of Super Mario All Stars on Wii, right? The ROM on a disc, like, that was only available for a limited time. Like, this is nothing new. They've been doing this with Mario games for a while, and now they're just sort of expanding it to other things, other franchises. Um, Franchises that might not actually incentivize a lot of people to check them out if they weren't limited re-releases. So they're probably experimenting with it a bit more. We might see a little bit more of like I would not mind seeing like a re-release of some of these more obscure Zelda games. Well, I think a full remake of the Oracle games are in order. I was thinking more like that Satellite View game. I don't know. Like, there's all these things they could do. Metroid could get re-released. Metroid Prime Trilogy, like a limited release. Was the original Metroid Prime Trilogy a re-release? I think it was a limited re-release. I think it was. I know Xenoblade was. Like, this isn't unprecedented for them. This isn't like anti-consumer. Like, you're thinking of PlayStation and Xbox and how they're forcing you to pay $70 for a game. Like, there's nothing wrong with what Nintendo is doing with Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon.